Hey folks, Shadeslay here. Welcome to the Horizons Arcology. It's a new series where we're going to be taking a look at some of the exciting mods in the recently released Feed the Beast Horizons mod pack. Now I'm running Minecraft 1.6.4 with the Sphax texture pack, and most of this series is going to be in the form of tutorials and spotlights for the new mods. Now to kick it off, we're on the green level of the Arcology, which is given over to all things Witchery. Unsurprisingly, Witchery adds a load of new magic into the game. It's packed full of content. There's a bunch of new crops and trees to plant and harvest. There's also new blocks and items to build, and there are powerful rituals performed in magic circles, and I'll be taking a look at a lot of this in more detail in future episodes. But to get started, we're going to need to craft ourselves one piece of equipment which every witch and warlock needs in their home. It's a witch's oven. So, to make our witch's oven, we're going to need 14 iron ingots. I'll just grab some out of the chest. And the first thing is we're going to want a set of iron bars. So arrange your 6 iron in the bottom of the crafting grid like so. That'll give us 16. We won't need all of those, but it'll do for now. We also want to make a bucket, so 3 iron in the shape there. And we'll grab our bucket. And then take 5 more iron ingots and arrange them in that upside down U shape. Pop the bucket on top like a chimney. Stick iron bars in as your grate, and there we've got our witch's oven. So we'll take that and we'll just plop it down in this spot next to our crafting table. So there's our oven, and you'll see we've got a slot at the top there where we can put fuel and things that we're going to cook. So we'll grab some pork chops, I think, out of the chest. We'll just pop these iron bars back, we won't need them yet. And we'll get ourselves some coal as well. And we'll just pop these into the witch's oven and cook ourselves up a few pork chops. Now you'll also notice in the oven we've got these extra slots on it as well at the bottom. So we've got one blank one just below where our pork chops are coming out, and then in the middle we've got this one as well, which looks a little bit like a kind of shape of a bottle on it. Now what we need to do is we need to pop some clay jars into that, and what we can do with them is we can capture essences and fumes from the stuff that we cook. So to make clay jars, arrange 4 clay in your crafting grid, upside down shallow T-shape, and 64 clay will give you 64 soft clay jars. And then you need to pop those into your furnace, like this, and pop some coal in there as well. And you'll see that those slowly start to cook up into normal clay jars. I'll just give that a second. There we go, so just like a kiln, our soft clay jars have turned into real clay jars, and there's 33 that we made earlier. Now we can pop these into the bottom of the witch's oven. So into that slot there with the little outline of the bottle, we'll take out those cooked pork chops and put in some fresh ones. I say fresh, they've been hanging around a few days. And now, as we start to cook those up, you'll notice that we start to fill those clay jars with various different types of essences. Now, depending on what you cook, depends on what you get. And it's not 100% conversion rate. So we've got 2 pork chops, 3 pork chops, and there you go, we filled the jar with foul fumes. And what you'll find is that as you cook meat, that tends to be what's produced. There are other things we can cook later which are going to produce other things for us. But for now, we'll just pop those into the chest. Right, now what we're going to need to do to carry on is make something called Mutandis powder. So we need, for that, bone meal, eggs, cactus green, so those are all quite easy to get hold of, mandrake root, that's new, hint of rebirth, and we're also going to need something called wood ash. Now those top 3 ingredients we can get easily. The bottom ones we're going to need to pop up onto the roof of the Arcology, where we've got ourselves a little witch's garden set up. Here we are, up on the roof. And you can see we've got this lovely witch's garden, which is where we're going to be doing all of our kind of planting and harvesting for everything in the Witchery mod. Now, to get ourselves the first ingredient, mandrake root, we're going to need some mandrake plants. So we're just going to knock down a lot of this long grass and see if we can get ourselves some mandrake seeds. Now, something to bear in mind is that in the Horizons mod pack, you've got quite a few mods that add additional plants and trees into the game. So you've got Pam's Harvest Craft, for example, and it does mean that as you're breaking down the grass, you're going to get a whole load of different types of seeds, and that does reduce the possibility a bit of getting the ones that you actually want. But somewhere, we should be able to get some Mandrake seeds. So we're going to get our Mandrake seeds, and then we also need to get the Hint of Rebirth, and we need to get ourselves some wood ash as well. But for now, let's get rid of these last bits of grass. There, and let's take a look and see what we've picked up. Right, what have we got? Camellia, Belladonna, that's a Witchery item, we might hang on to those. Rye, Snowbell, more Witchery, Cucumber, Parsnips. Mandrake seeds, fantastic, we'll take those. And we'll go and put these other seeds that we don't need into our chest, and we might be able to use them for something later on. So we'll just get rid of all of those. Now I've also got some more Mandrake seeds that I picked up earlier as well, so we'll grab them, and then we'll take a hoe and we'll just hoe until this ground next to the water, and we'll pop down some Mandrake seeds in those slots. Now on the right we've got some Mandrakes that we planted earlier, so thankfully we can harvest those now. What you're going to need to hand before you try and do that is your sword, and you'll find out why as soon as I break this first one. There we go. Jesus. These guys are a real pain. It's a Mandrake, and apart from making your head spin, they give you a nausea effect. They're very, very difficult to get your sword to as well, because they spin and fly around all over the place and make a horrible screaming noise as well when you go for them. Now you can avoid having to do this by harvesting your Mandrake plants at night. Oh bloody hell, I've got two of them. Ugh, they are a nuisance. So Mandrakes are dormant at night, so if you harvest them then it's nice and easy. But if you harvest them during the day, there's a high chance of spawning a Mandrake, and that's going to mean you have to finish them little buggers off. Right, there we go, another one. And there's 2, 3 more there to grab. You can see we've got 6 Mandrake roots already. Oh, there we go. I found that one of the easiest ways to take these guys on is once you strike the plant, just move backwards as quickly as you can. There we go. Jeez, spinning. Right, so if you move backwards, it stops them spinning around you and lets you get a few hits in. And once you've killed them, you'll pick up some Mandrake seeds and some Mandrake root as well. So you'll still get the seeds and roots, it's just a pain. The worst thing is probably if you're harvesting these guys and then obviously a creeper or something sneaks up on you, because it kind of basically makes you effectively paralysed. Certainly you can't do much while your head's spinning like that. So the next thing we need is to get ourselves some spruce saplings. Now I've got 3 spruce trees here. You can tell spruce trees because they've got that kind of layered pattern to the leaves. And we're just going to knock these down. I'm going to have to jump up on a bit of wood to get that top one. There we go. Now burning different types of saplings in your witch's oven is going to give you different essences collected in the jars, and burning spruce saplings is going to give us the Hint of Rebirth that we need to make the Mutandis powder. So we'll just chop down these trees and see if we can get some saplings. What the Mutandis powder is it's a kind of transformation powder that's going to transfer different types of living plants into other types that would be harder to go out and find naturally. So we're going to keep knocking these down. There we go, and we'll bash some of the leaves as well in a moment, just to jump up. There we go. So yeah, the Mutandis powder is going to let us transmute some of these new trees that you can get in the Witchery mod without having to actually go out and find them in the wild, which could take a while. So we need all of those ingredients that were listed earlier. Just going to bash these leaves. Now, you don't get the kind of the clay jars filled on the 1-to-1 ratio, so we're going to need to try and get a fair number of saplings to get a chance of getting some of this Hint of Rebirth captured when we cook them. The good news is that 6th ingredient that we needed, wood ash, you actually get from cooking up saplings as well. So all saplings will produce wood ash when cooked in the furnace, or in the witch's oven on a 1-to-1 ratio. So we'll just hack down these final leaves. We're getting there now. What have I got? 4 saplings. Could do with a couple more. Not sure if 4 is going to be enough, but we'll see. There's another one. 5. Hack at these last leaves. Oh, there's still a few up there. Right. I could do with more than 5. Ah, there we go. 6, 7. Well, I think 7 saplings will do us. So let's pop at 8, even better. Let's pop down back into the green level of the Arcology, and we can cook these up in our witch's oven. And there we go. Back downstairs. And what we'll do, let's see what we've got. So we've got 32 clay jars in there. We'll just take out this cooked pork chop. And we're going to put those spruce saplings in. And we're going to need to grab ourselves some coal as well to cook those up. So I'll grab some of that out of the chest. Pop the coal into the fuel slot. And you'll see that we start now to cook up, hopefully, those spruce saplings into wood ash. And if we're lucky, yeah, there we go. Hint of rebirth in one of those jars. And there's our wood ash as well. So we've got that being cooked. We're going to need 4 wood ash. So we'll let that carry on. And the other thing we need is cactus green. So I'm going to take some cactus. I'll just take these clay jars out. We've got 60 of those now, so that's good. We'll pop some more coal in, and we'll stick this cactus in as well and get that turning into cactus green. Brilliant. Over on this side we've got 4 wood ash now. We've got a few more jars filled with hint of rebirth. And there's a cactus green. Now, just a reminder for the recipe, we're going to need eggs, we're going to need bone meal, we're going to need the hint of rebirth, mandrake root, cactus green, and we're then going to need to go and pop that all into our crafting table. So to start with, we put the wood ash in the 4 corners, like so. We then want to take the hint of rebirth and put that in the bottom middle slot. You're only going to need 1 of those. Cactus green goes in the top. Then you've got your bone meal on the right, your egg in the middle, and your mandrake root on the left. And that's going to produce 8 Mutandis powder. So we'll just take that out. And that is where we're going to leave it really for today's episode. We've got the Mutandis powder, so we'll see what we can do with that next time. But for the moment, that's everything that we need. And I'll be showing you what you can do with it in the next episode. I've been Shades, bye for now.